How's everybody doing?
Good.
I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause again, because this is major, because you guys are getting awards. And I want to give a major shout out to the parents for being so supportive. The last time I was here, I actually spoke to the parents, and what I shared with them was that parents are to be like a bank unto their children. Not a bank literally asking for money, but a bank from which your children can withdraw encouragement and inspiration and support and love. So I really want to give it up for the parents who have been banks to their children. So I just want to give it up to the parents in the room. So everybody give it up for the parents. And the teachers, and the staff. As he said, my name is Pervis Taylor III. I'm actually the author of 2 books. Pervis Principles Volumes 1 and 2. I also have my own app called I Inspire, which is an inspirational life coaching app. Not too many brothers have apps, so let's give it up for that. Give it up for me. I'm a contributor. I contribute to Black Enterprise. I contribute to BeliefNet. I consider myself a creative, so I am a print model and actor. But as he said, really my true passion is in encouraging young people and humans alike. One of the things that I always share whenever I speak, no matter the group of people that I'm speaking to, whether it's a group of kindergartners or it's a group of 80-year-olds, because it applies to all of us, and that is there's a slot in world history for each and every one of us, either as a world changer or someone who watched the world change. Choose. There's a slot in world history for each and every one of us, either as a world changer or someone who watched the world change. Choose. It is not what happens to us in life that defines us, but what we choose to make happen that defines us. Everybody in this room, self-included, has everything that they need to be who they're supposed to be. You lack nothing. You have the ability to not only change your world, but the world as a whole. But it all begins with your choice. Got it? Okay. So the first thing I want to share is, before I get into what I really want to share with you guys, I want to say this one thing to you. If you take nothing else from this, take this with you. Everybody in this room is a legend. So therefore, be legendary. Everybody in this room is a legend, so therefore be legendary. There will never be another Pervis Taylor III born on July 10th, 1980 in Lancaster, Texas. It's only me. So I'm a legend. So I must conduct myself in a legendary manner. Whatever it is that you do in life, have the mindset that nobody's gonna ever do this like me. So be legendary. How many legends are in this room? Raise your hand. That's what I'm talking about. Be legendary. She waved her hand. A couple weeks ago, I had the privilege and honor of being the keynote speaker for College Summit. Have you guys ever heard of College Summit? It's a para organization that helps kids who want to go to college, and they send them off to colleges for a weekend to help them excel in writing. They actually had an award ceremony 2 weeks ago, and it was like about 250 kids there, and teachers and principals. And the awesome thing is that you never know if you're doing a good job until you get the tweets or the Facebook messages or the Instagram tags. So I got a lot of those, and one of the things that was common between what everybody shared was what I'm going to share with you guys now. Inherent to every human being on this earth resides 2 people, a victim and a champion. Inherent to every human being on this earth resides 2 people, a victim and a champion. And depending on where you are in life, one is emerging. And my job as a life coach and a speaker and a contributor and all the things that I do as an inspirationalist is to make sure that the champion emerges within you. We are our most authentic selves when we allow the champion in us to rise. We're being fake and phony and inauthentic when we allow the victim in us to rise. We are our most authentic selves when we allow the champion inside of us to rise. We're being fake and phony when we allow the victim inside of us to arise within us. What I wanted to share with you today, when I was 18, which was many, many moons ago, My teacher said something to me that was one of the most profound things that anyone has ever said to me. Her name is Miss Hilscher. She was also legendary. She said to me, she said, Pervis, I just want to say this to you. She said, remember this, literature is always alive. The words are always alive. She said, if you read a story that was written 200 years ago, that story is active and alive. And at the time, I didn't realize that she was speaking to me on two levels. She was speaking to me on a literal level, because if you do read a book that was written 200 years ago, the words are alive and active. But she was also speaking to me on a human level, how we all have a story and a narrative that's a part of us. So what I want to say to you guys today is create a new narrative. Create the narrative that you want for your life. For most of my life, just being transparent, I lived my life as a victim. And I had this woe is me narrative going on, so much so that I missed out on a lot of opportunities because that negative, that woe is me thing preceded me, because that was a story that was reoccurring in my life, being victimized, being bullied, being abused. That was a story that I kept telling over and over again. Even though I was achieving certain things in life, I was missing out on the bigger blessings, the bigger opportunities, because I had that narrative telling my life story. My wake-up call is when one of my good friends said to me, he said, Pervis, you've been telling that story for far too long. It's time for you to create a new story. And as mad as I was at the time, I realized that he was right. It was time for me to change my story. And so what did I do? I created a new narrative. And how did I create a new narrative? I started to switch my perspective. I started to see my life as amazing, as full, as blessed. It was a process, but I began to change my narrative, so much so that I am an international selling author. I've spoken at Yale University twice. I am an international speaker. I created that narrative, and I realized that I had the power to do that. So what I'm saying to you is that you have the power to create the story that you want to have. You have the power, no one else. You dictate the words that come out of your mouth, because our words create our world. What you're saying to yourself is creating your world. Don't take this lightly. I'm serious. What you're saying to yourself creates your world, and you will attract that. Everybody do me a favor, close your eyes for 1 second. Imagine you're 90 years old and you're sitting in front of a biographer and they're asking you, tell me your story. What is your story going to be? Is it going to be a story of overcoming and triumphing and being victorious? Or is it going to be a sad sob story? Open your eyes. That's how important this is. Life happens from you. Are there situations where life happens to us? Absolutely. I can raise my hand the highest. But ultimately, at the end of the day, life happens from you. So in closing, the reason why your parents and the teachers and the staff and myself, we're up here and we're so invested in you being a success is because the reality is this. The world we're living in right now is really crazy. It's very dark. And we need your brilliance to illuminate the pathway for us. We need the brilliance, the light that is in you to illuminate the pathway for us, because you are our future. So my job and your parents' job and your teacher's job is to make sure that that champion narrative is being told at all times. Not the victim, but the champion. When I was your age, had I known what I know now, I'd probably be in a bigger position than I'm in right now. So take this to heart. Everybody in this room is a champion. So let that champion arise at all times. Thank you so much.